Hi guys, Cedar Transit Camper. Welcome to my channel. We'd really appreciate a like and subscribe. Today's project is we're going to put a table into the back of the camper so we can eat our dinner off. Join me after the break. Hi, welcome back. So we've bought a table off the internet. How much was it, baby?
About 60, I think.
About 60 quid for the leg and the support at the bottom and the support at the top, which screws to the table. Now the support at the bottom is designed to drop into the floor or through the floor in the van, so you have to drill a big hole, perhaps 2 inches wide, and then the boss drops through. I'm not going to do that because we don't want to drill through the floor of the van and there's a big beam runs up the middle of the van, so it's all going to be in the way. So we're going to make a spacer and we're going to use those the other way around. We're going to make a spacer under the table so it supports the table that way. Let me show you. So this is the spacer that would normally be into the floor of the van, and they make them that thin so you can walk over them and you're not going to trip over it. We're going to be using this spacer to go underneath the table, so we're going to have to make up that space there. And the other one, which is very similar to this except raised up, I'll show you that in a minute, is going to be just screwed straight to the floor of the van, because as you know, the floor of the van has got a piece of MDF sort of 3/4 inch thick, so that'll make a good base for it. So we found a piece of wood. It's roughly the right thickness, might have to add a little bit to it, but we're going to cut that out and we'll cut out a circle in the middle to allow that to sit through, and we'll see what we got. So this is the finished product. It's not perfect, but you're not going to see it anyway. That's baby's least liked phrase. You're not going to see it anyway, but you're not going to see it anyway. So we are going to slightly offset this, so the part that supports the table leg will be towards the back of the van. So there we go, big polo mint. That'll go on the inside. We'll give this a coat or something. You're not going to see it anyway. Teamwork makes the dream work, and baby's idea is to use some of the felt to go around the outside of it. That'll be a nice job. I've put 4 holes in, ready to screw it to the underneath of the table, and hopefully the screws won't go through the table, but if it does, doesn't matter. I think it might do. So after baby's suggestion, we've got the felt around the outside. That'll fold flat and the support will sit over that. It's going to be a neat job. Let's get it screwed to the bottom of the table. So there we are. Nice little boss there, all nicely hidden. That doesn't look too bad, but you're not going to see it anyway. So we've made our boss. Just use a bit of old softwood, it's good. And it cut quite easy. Covered it in that felt, screwed it to the bottom of the table. Go and take it out to the van now, and baby will decide where she wants the table positioned. And then we'll screw that down straight into the MDF. And then I'll explain a bit more the reasons why I did that. I'll show you underneath the van. So as you can see, looking underneath there, see that centre beam which runs right down the middle of the van? That's the reason why I can't drill right the way through. And that's why I'm using the method I'm using. You don't have to do it. It's probably not the best way that I've done, but it'll still do the job. So here we are in the back of the van. This part is MDF. I said 3/4, but I think it's probably about 1/2 inch. And that runs all the way to the back of the van. So we're going to position now where this boss is going to just screw straight into the floor. Obviously this boss is the one that would normally be screwed into the table. So that would be obviously that way around, straight up into the table. But like I say, this, when it's off and screwed to the floor, isn't a massive trip hazard, and it's not in a pathway that we're going to keep walking down. Let me show you. So once baby's decided where that's going to be, that's all that's going to be on the floor screwed in. We can live with that. We're happier with that than drilling holes in the floor of the van. So baby's mocked it all up, and she's going to decide exactly where this table needs to go, and then I'll screw it on. So I've just put 2 screws in there, and let's see if we're going to be convinced that it's going to be strong enough. Right, we've done a wobble test. These have got tapers. It's a very slight taper, but they're tapered, so when they go in, sometimes you just have to turn them a little bit just to make sure you're getting the best of a lock down. To make sure it's solid, so you don't want any wobble in it straight away. And the same with the table, just turn it a bit until that taper locks in properly. But we think we're good. So there we are. The boy's back from school, he's ready for his dinner. And it's not bad, it is a bit wobbly because we've put it to the one side, but we think it's going to be strong enough, and we can always change it in the future if we want. But there we go. Dinner time. So there we go. That's one method of putting in a table in a camper. It's the opposite of how you should do it, but you have to overcome all the problems as you go along. And we're happy with that. It is only for somewhere to put our plates while we eat, and a bit of room while we're cooking. Superb. Catch you next time. You've been watching See the Transit Camper. Take care.